Hello, my name is Mandeep Patel. I am a senior studying mechanical engineering honors at the University of Texas, and this is my solution to help Energy Focus increase its market share by offering rapid retrofit capabilities. Let's talk about the customers that this is aimed for. This is an untapped customer market of medium-sized manufacturing firms that are anywhere from $15 to $40 million of annual revenue. These type of companies are generally bought out by larger firms that are trying to balance out their annual revenues. A good example would be Lockheed Martin. They purchase commercial aircraft manufacturing companies in order to help avoid dips in their revenue when government military spending decreases, which is actually something we're looking at right now. The benefits to these medium-sized manufacturing firms are very clear. They get the cost savings from reduced energy usage and heating usage from LEDs. And for them to invest money while they have a surplus in 1 year helps lower their operating expenses for years to come. So since their main purpose is to provide a consistent stream of revenue, this gives them a huge incentive to switch to LED lighting. The other key benefit to these medium-sized manufacturing firms is the tax savings they can actually take advantage of. These companies are located in smaller municipalities. These would be areas not within major cities such as Houston, but around it. And these smaller municipalities have a vested interest in reducing the daily energy usage of these large or medium-sized manufacturing firms. The reason why is because it actually drives up peak pricing for residential areas, residential homes in that area. So by reducing the commercial energy usage, they're able to help everybody in that municipality. Another key consideration, though, is that these manufacturing firms cannot have their workflow interrupted. Oftentimes, they're in restricted access areas, which means only a certain number of workers could get in to do work at any given time. And if they had to clear out the manufacturing floor to help increase the speed of installing these lighting fixtures or simply retrofit hot swaps, then they're not going to be able to put out the work and meet the deadlines that they need. So this type of customer is going to be a medium-sized manufacturing firm who needs the work done quickly and who is located in a municipality that benefits from them saving electricity, which in turn offers tax incentives for the manufacturing firm to switch over to LED lighting. And the technology that allows all of this to happen and allows access to this market is, honestly, it's a little bit of a cop-out because you do offer something very similar to the lighting solution that we need, but there's, of course, always going to be improvements, and that is the IntelliTube universal tubes, as well as your dual input single-sided tube that has two sets of connectors on one end that allows you to either use it with or without a ballast. Now, this provides a couple key benefits. The first is that you don't need to remove the ballast, and that helps speed up the installation time for this entire system. You can just hot swap it out, and if the ballast does fail, you can replace bulbs individually without having to shut down the manufacturing floor. And because it doesn't require complex wiring, you can actually have someone in the facility who is already security cleared to actually go in and quickly change it out. That's a key thing here. For a lot of these military manufacturers, as well as other manufacturers that use proprietary equipment, this could be in the oil and gas industry, as well as the hospital and medical technology industry, a lot of that manufacturing is actually done in the United States to help avoid patent theft. And one of the most important things for these type of manufacturers is that they control access to their facility, and that is why it's absolutely crucial for them to be able to limit the amount of access available. This type of technology that allows hot swapping, that allows small changes as the technology develops, that is exactly what they need. So let's first talk about the marketing strategy really quickly, just to explain why this is such an effective beachhead market to branch into. So this is an example of a municipality in Anoka that in Minnesota, actually, that offers a huge tax incentive from April 1st, 2016 to March 31st, 2017. But here's the caveat. It's either March 31st, 2017 or until funds run out. So the important thing here is that these manufacturers need to start applying for these rebates as soon as possible. And the quicker the work gets done, the faster they are eligible to claim these tax credits. So this was just a quick Google search and I was able to find this. The deadline for this actual rebate is approaching very soon and within less than 3 months. So this would be a prime example of an area where we should start looking for commercial units that would want to switch over to LED because we can offer them a huge tax rebate if they are able to switch quickly, and that is exactly what the technology offers. So let's talk about another municipality that's giving tax incentives, and this is a key example. So this is actually the Reading Municipal District, and if you notice, for switching a 2 to 3 foot LED linear bulb, they're actually getting $25 in tax savings. That is huge, considering the average LED linear 2 to 3 foot bulb can go from anywhere from $7 to $14. So including labor costs, that rebate actually covers both the labor costs for the installation and the cost of the bulb itself, and all of the energy savings are then passed on to the manufacturer. So this is huge, and this would be a perfect example of a municipality where we should go in, do some additional research as to what manufacturing outlets are out there, and provide them with a pitch on exactly how they're going to save this money. Now, I can actually tell you this from firsthand experience that this works, because last summer I was working with Lockheed Martin, and the financials you see right here are altered numbers for a facility they actually have in Georgetown, Texas. It's about 40 miles north of Austin, Texas, and it's a great example of a manufacturing firm that could use this type of solution. So it was a smaller unit that actually produces custom components for private jets. Lockheed bought it to help stabilize the revenue, and this was a proposal I made to my managers to basically show them that they would be able to save a significant amount of money over 4 years, and they would be able to recoup their money between 2.1 years if they didn't use the tax rebates, and 1.5 years if they did. And that was a huge selling point, and that's why they went forward with that change. So this is the benefits summed up. First, there's a huge market size. There's 1.2 billion global tube lights, and there's manufacturing units all across the United States with some concentrations that can be focused on. And the second is, it's a quick implementation for the customers. You give them benefits almost immediately, but it's also a quick implementation for energy focus, because you can bring this strategy to the table using products that you already offer, and you can incorporate any new technological advances in the future with this already existing sales plan. So let's talk about that Lockheed presentation really quick before we wrap things up. This is how I presented the actual proposal to my managers. I wanted to make it very clear for them how it would work. I was meeting with one of the highest ranking individuals in the company, so I only had about 5 minutes with him. And the way I got through it was I made a graph on the right-hand side that clearly explained two things. The first was, how quickly can you recuperate your money, and how much will you save at the 4-year mark? And that was really what sold it for them. It was incredibly effective because they understood that if they waited 1 year, or if they waited a couple months to see what happens with the technology, or to see if the price of LEDs went down, they would lose out on that tax rebate. And that's what helped me make this idea so. And so I want to give you really quickly a personal introduction about myself, just because, that was one of the options in the presentation's outline. And so, this is a picture of me. I'm the guy in the middle. We were at a case competition for British Petroleum. And I want to give you a quick background on me as far as how I got into the LED industry. So when I was in 12th grade, I actually won a science fair, and I got a significant amount of prize money from it. About $5,000 from that science fair. This was when LEDs were first coming into the market at a price point where they weren't dropping precipitously each and every year, and I thought they were so cool. I don't know why exactly I think LEDs are so cool. Maybe because I first started seeing them on exotic sports cars and stuff, but I used to think LEDs were amazing, and I used to think they were a very practical way, or I still do think that they're a very practical way of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So here was my plan. I drove up to Austin looking to become a distributor for LEDs and buy A19 light bulbs in bulk. Then I wanted to use the contacts that my father had in the construction industry with hotel owners to help sell it to them directly. And so I went from Austin to Houston to Bastrop, all over Texas, trying to make these sales. And there was a fundamental difference in what we prioritized, both myself and the owners. See, I thought it was a great way to help save the environment, and they wanted to run their operations at the highest profit margins possible, and they just couldn't justify why they would spend 5 times as much on an LED light bulb than what they would on a CFL light bulb. And that's what really caused me to change the way I looked at things. I started understanding that you have to figure out what these customers prioritize, and what they prioritized was maintaining their hotels so that they didn't get fined by the flags that they had, so the brand names such as Hilton or Holiday Inn. They also wanted to reduce the maintenance requirements, so if they had to keep going out and changing bulbs, they would have to rack up cost on maintenance men. And the third thing that they wanted was reduced electricity usage, because obviously that helps save them money. But by showing them all three of those factors put together, I was able to push them over the edge to say, hey, it might be 5 times more, but here are 5 benefits to why that cost exists at that point. And so that really helped me change my sales pitch. So I think when it comes down to it, being able to find these market opportunities shows how inquisitive I am in terms of market structures and understanding what opportunities are out there. Being able to synthesize large amounts of information and present it in a clear and concise way helped me develop the capacity to actually present at a very professional level. I was very fresh-faced at this time. It was the summer before I would enter my freshman year of college, so I was very young at the time, and I was meeting with these owners and purchasing managers that would take me seriously only because I would present myself in a very professional way. So that wraps up the presentation, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me at mandeeppatel@utexas.edu. Thank you for your time.